Ever stumble across a car and think, wait, what is Date doing in the bargain bin? You're not alone. Hidden among the flood of bland daily drivers are rare machines that were built with a purpose far beyond the average commute. I'm talking about cheap, limited edition beasts forged with racing DNA, developed in collaboration with iconic drivers, and released quietly into the world, often with barely a whisper of the greatness they held. These aren't your average used cars. They're secret weapons on wheels. And here's the kicker, they're still affordable. We're diving into 5 racing, driver-inspired machines that flew under the radar, but pack performance, heritage, and style that punch way above their price tags. Some of these were banned from certain races, others were built in tiny numbers, and all of them have one thing in common. They were created to move fast and leave a legacy. So buckle up, because you might just fall in love with a car you've never heard of before. And by the end of this video, don't be surprised if you find yourself searching classifieds, trying to track down one of these super rare, high-performance bargains before the rest of the world catches on. The Ford Racing Puma is one of those rare machines that perfectly embodies the idea of a cheap but legendary car. Built in 1999, it was never meant to be a mainstream seller. Instead, Ford created it as a celebration of its rallying dominance in the late 90s, especially influenced by icons like Colin McRae. This wasn't just a trim level, this was a completely re-engineered take on the original Puma, tuned by Tickford, a name well known in motorsport circles. And with only 500 units produced for the UK, this is a collector's car that hides in plain sight. Under the hood, it packed a 1.7 liters Zetec Southeast engine, but Ford didn't stop there. They fitted high-performance Alcan brakes, widened the track, stiffened the suspension, and flared out the arches. The car hugged corners with the tenacity of a mountain goat. It didn't just handle well, it demanded to be driven hard. Add in Recaro seats, an aluminum gear shifter, and a short ratio gearbox, and suddenly you're looking at a road-legal rally car that feels raw and visceral, not over-processed like modern hatches. Today, the Ford Racing Puma is still a bit of a secret weapon in the used market. You can find clean examples for $15,000, $20,000. And what you're getting is something far rarer and more rewarding than anything new in that price range. It's the kind of car you don't just buy. You join a cult following of enthusiasts who know they're sitting on a motorsport treasure. So ask yourself, would you rather drive a new Econobox that blends into traffic or own a limited run machine inspired by one of rally's greatest eras? If you crave character, heritage, and pure driving pleasure, the Ford Racing Puma is calling your name. When Renault decided to create the Clio Williams, they weren't just building another hot hatch, they were making a statement. The early 90s were a golden era for Formula One, and Renault's partnership with the legendary Williams F1 team, which was dominating the sport, gave them the perfect opportunity to celebrate their racing success. While Ayrton Senna was more closely tied to McLaren during his prime, the Clio Williams still resonates with F1 fans because it captures the essence of racing glory, speed, and precision engineering. What truly made the Clio Williams stand out was how it blurred the line between road car and race car. Under the hood was a 2.0-liter DOHC inline-4 engine producing 150 horsepower, which might not sound earth-shattering today, but for a hatchback that weighed just over 2,200 pounds, it was a missile. This power-to-weight ratio meant the Clio could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 7 seconds, a number that put it in the same realm as sports cars of the era. But it wasn't just straight-line speed, it was the handling. Renault beefed up the chassis, added a lower suspension, stiffer springs, and wider front and rear tracks. Combined with the iconic gold Speedline wheels, deep blue paint, and flared arches, the car looked as aggressive as it felt behind the wheel. It screamed motorsport. Initially, Renault claimed it would build only 3,800 units to homologate it for group and rallying, but demand exploded. Eventually, they produced around 12,000 units over 3 phases. Still, only the Phase 1 models are considered true collector cars, making them especially desirable today. And the best part, prices still hover around $20,000 to $25,000, depending on condition, making this one of the few F1-inspired cars within reach of everyday enthusiasts. So, if you've ever dreamed of owning a piece of motorsport history without taking out a second mortgage, the Clio Williams might just be your golden ticket. The Subaru Impreza RB5 wasn't just another special edition. It was a tribute to one of rallying's most beloved heroes, Richard Burns. Released in 1999, this car was crafted to honor Burns' return to the Subaru World Rally team and marked a turning point in the brand's rally journey. Burns would go on to win the World Rally Championship in 2001, and this car laid the groundwork for that legacy. Only 444 examples were made, making it one of the most exclusive Impreza variants ever built. Let's start with what sets the RB5 apart. It was based on the UK spec Impreza Turbo 2008 OBD, but the upgrades were substantial. It featured a 2.0-liter turbocharged flat-4 engine producing 218 horsepower, a jump from the standard model. The RB5 also benefited from a ProDrive-developed suspension setup, delivering tighter handling, improved body control, and a sharper driving experience that echoed its WRC roots. Visually, the RB5 came in a striking steel blue mica paint, exclusive to the model. It had unique RB5 badging, 17-inch speedline wheels, and a lower stance that gave it an aggressive edge without looking overdone. Inside, it was all rally-inspired. Recaro seats, a leather Momo steering wheel, and a numbered plaque on the dashboard to remind you that you're sitting in something truly rare. What made the RB5 particularly attractive was that buyers could opt for the WR Sport package, which added a ProDrive rear wing, a stainless steel exhaust, and revised ECU tuning. These additions elevated the RB5 from a special edition to a serious driver's machine, one that offered an exhilarating experience both on the road and in the twisties. Today, it remains relatively affordable in the collector market, often seen around the $20,000 to $30,000 range depending on condition. For fans of rally heritage and those who appreciate the legacy of Richard Burns, this is more than a car. It's a heartfelt nod to a legend gone too soon. If there was ever a car that wore its racing soul on its sleeve, it's the Lotus Elise Type 49. This isn't just another lightweight track toy. This is a direct homage to one of the most iconic Formula One machines of all time, the Lotus 49, the car that helped legendary driver Jim Clark dominate the late 1960s. Built in 1999, the Elise Type 49 took the already agile Elise Series 1 and infused it with historic flair, emotional resonance, and track day readiness, all in one compact package. The car came painted in the gold Leaf Team Lotus livery, a stunning red, white, and gold color scheme that immediately takes you back to the golden era of racing. Underneath, it had the same punchy 1.8 liters Rover K-Series engine, which, thanks to the car's feathery weight of just over 1,500 pounds, made for a go-kart-like experience on the road. This was a car built on the philosophy of add lightness, and it paid off every time you carved through a corner. With only 92 units ever produced, the Elise Type 49 is more exclusive than many supercars. What makes it even better is that this isn't just a collectible to lock away in a garage. It begs to be driven. The minimalist interior, the unassisted steering, and the razor-sharp chassis all remind you that this car was built for those who understand the art of driving. Prices today hover around $30,000 to $40,000, making it a relatively accessible slice of motorsport history. And here's the real question. If you could own something that channels the legacy of Jim Clark and the soul of Formula One, all while offering one of the purest driving experiences on the planet, wouldn't you jump at the chance? The Elise Type 49 isn't just rare, it's legendary. The Toyota Celica GT4 RC, also known in some markets as the Carlos Sainz Edition, is one of those rare limited edition machines that didn't just flirt with rally greatness, it lived it. Released in 1991, this beast was born from Toyota's ambition to dominate the World Rally Championship, and boy, did it deliver. Named after rally legend Carlos Sainz, who piloted the Celica to multiple WRC victories, this car is an homage to both the man and the motorsport legacy Toyota forged in the early 90s. Only 5,000 units of the GT4 RC were produced to meet FIA homologation requirements, and every single one of them is a marvel of purposeful engineering. It was based on the already potent ST185 Celica GT4, but Toyota didn't just slap on some badges and call it a day. No, this edition featured a water-to-air intercooler, a revised turbocharger, lighter components, and an upgraded cooling system. The result? A rally-bred, all-wheel drive weapon producing around 225 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time just over 6 seconds. Impressive for a heavy coupe of that era. But the RC wasn't just fast, it was smart. It featured a close ratio gearbox, beefier differentials, and a revised suspension for better response on both road and dirt. And of course, it came with some stylish tweaks, a unique front bumper, discreet GT4 RC badging, and an interior that included special touches like numbered plates and exclusive trim. Here's where it gets even more appealing. Despite its racing pedigree and limited numbers, the Celica GT4 RC can still be found on the market for around $30,000 to $40,000 in good condition. That's a steal for a piece of WRC history, especially one that holds up so well even by today's performance standards. It's the kind of car that makes gearheads light up with excitement when they spot one. And if you manage to get your hands on one, you'll own not just a car, but a piece of motorsport royalty. The beauty of these cheap limited edition cars is that they don't shout for attention. They whisper racing history. They're the kinds of cars that only enthusiasts recognize, but once you know, you know. They carry stories. Stories of racing legends, championships, and moments that shaped the motorsport world. From the Colin McRae vibes of the Ford Racing Puma to the gold wheels of the Clio Williams. From the RB5's rally roots to the Lotus Type 49's beautiful homage to Jim Clark, and the modern muscle of the M3 DTM Champion Edition. These cars are more than metal and horsepower. They're affordable pieces of history you can drive, enjoy, and be proud of. Which of these rare rides would you love to own? And did we miss any that should have made the cut? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you own one of these beasts, flex a little and tell us what it's like behind the wheel. Don't forget to subscribe for more hidden gems, underrated icons, and the wildest stories from the car world. Because here, we celebrate the cars that matter, even if no one else noticed them. Stay rare, stay fast, and we'll see you in the next one.